What's up, guys? If you clicked on this video, it's obvious you probably like horror. You were probably interested in the topic, and I'm gonna keep this intro short. I'm Blitzo. I will be talking about. Oh shit. Well, welcome to the channel. I will be talking about horror. Why we don't find horror anymore? Why was horror scary back then? And I will also be talking about new horror, and we'll try to explain it, and we'll no hate to any of the people who enjoy this type of horror, but in reality, I'm just talking about why don't most of us and me and my friends find this type of scary anymore. And just straight into it. There will be my Fortnite gameplay playing in the background because I don't want y'all looking at a blank screen, and I didn't know what else to put. Alright, so first topic is creepypasta because everyone knows it. It's popular. There's multiple creepypastas. The obvious ones, Jeff the Killer, Eyeless Jack, Slender Man, and we all grew up with them, right? But this shit was scary to us, and I do really just want to say that it came down to being a kid. Now, when you're a kid, now everything's more like, how do I say this? Like, you're more curious about things, you're more gullible, you're most likely to believe things, and that's where creepypastas, scared the living shit out of me. I used to be fucking scared that Jeff the Killer would come out of my closet at night. Like, I would stare at my closet until I go to bed, bro. I was shitting my pants. But why don't we find this scary anymore? No, it's not that they're bad anymore, or it's not that, like, necessarily, it's just isn't scary, because obviously kids are probably so scared of this. I think we just grew up. I really think that the creepypasta community just grew up. Now, when you're grown, you've already learned, you know what's fake, you know what's real, and, your least worries is fucking Jeff the Killer coming out of nowhere at night and stabbing you, okay? That is the least of our worries, okay? Currently, obviously, adults, 9 to 5, teens, high school, grades, athletes, football, just anything, right? That is our least concern. Alright, so now to the definition of what is a creepypasta. And according to Google, it is a horror-related image or story that has been copy and pasted around the internet. So basically a popular horror image story or anything that has gone viral. And now that you know what it means, you basically get the gist of it. Jeff the Killer, it was a story image that went around, everyone saw it. Smile Dog, obviously the image, blah, 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 blah. But why were we scared of this? Now, this was all early 2000s. And, we were kids, so you're obviously going to be, like, shitting your pants. Okay? Like, you see the Smile Dog photo, and it's apparently a dog from hell, you're going to be shitting yourself. Obviously, you're a kid, you're young, you're gullible, but that was all when we were young. So, as I said before, I really think it's just that we grew up, and that's it. Alright, as I said, kids are probably going to be still scared of this, just like we were. So, no, the horror isn't bad. But now that you basically get the gist of it, that's all I want to talk about on creepypastas. We grew up with them, everyone knows them, everyone loves them. Now, on to liminal space horror. Okay, now to even understand liminal space horror, we need to understand what the word liminal or liminality, you know what's fucking word I'm talking about, what that means. So, according to Google, it is a transitional zone or threshold between two states or places, often characterized by a sense of unease or distortion and anticipation. Essentially, it is the middle. There is a picture on the screen, and as you can see, the future is first, the past is last, and in the middle is where the liminal space would be. Okay, but now I am going to tell you why we find this scary. So, when you look at a liminal space horror picture, it is often depicted as a school, a hallway, a airport, or a office where everything has been removed. So, it is always where, life should be thriving, there should be stuff, and it should not be empty. I think we find this scary because, well, it's uneasy. You're seeing like a water park or a school where there should be kids playing or something, like classrooms, teachers yelling it should be thriving in life. It should not be silent. So when we see something like this that we're so used to seeing full of life and it's just stuff happening around it, it feels uneasy to us because we are not used to seeing it, well, empty, silent, and essentially dead. Yeah, but for the most part, that is all I wanted to talk about on liminal spaces. Now I will actually be moving on to body horror because I see it a lot in today's media, and it's actually really interesting. Now, personally, I love body horror. It is really interesting to me, and it stands out the most to me from popular horror, from slasher. It's just since my first ever interaction with body horror, it has always caught my eye. It was so weird, but now I'm going to explain what body horror is. So, according to Google AI overview, body horror is a subgenre of horror that explores grotesque and disturbing and often physiologically unsettling violations of the human body. As you can see, trigger warning, massive trigger warning. I will be showing images of The Last of Us, of other body horror, and just anything I found off Google. So, yes, trigger warning, please, if body horror bothers you in any way, click off this video right now, or I will put a timestamp for you to skip to. But now, as I said, the first time I ever saw a body horror, it completely scared the shit out of me, but it was so interesting. Now, the first time I ever saw body horror was in The Last of Us. So, as you can see, this is a clicker, and it is so clearly fucked up. Look at the face, look at the body. I would count this as body horror because, well, the body is fucked. Look at the face once again. Look at the body. It is just the first time I ever saw this was in the first game, and it actually really did creep me out. It made my skin crawl. Now, here is a stalker from The Last of Us. And as you can just see by the face, it is in its early stages of becoming a clicker, and it is so messed up. It has like fungus growing out of its head. It has rat growing it out of its side, the front. And I would also count this as a body horror once again because the body is fucked up. All right, now huge trigger warning before I even start on this one. I will be showing the walrus suit from the movie Tusk, and it is a human skin made into walrus. Now, as weird as it sounds, this movie caught my eye when I first saw it back in, I want to say 2023, and it was so disturbing to me, but it was so interesting too. Just look at this, man. It is quite literally human skin stitched together into a walrus. Now, I will also be talking about why. Now, I will be talking about why do we fear it. Now, in my own personal opinion, I believe people fear it because, well, it is the human body. It is quite literally like one of the most scariest horror to show people because it is a human body disfigured, dismembered, or it has fungus growing out of it like the clickers do, or the walrus. Like, it is quite literally the human body disfigured, and that's a body horror. And I truly think it's so uneasy to us because, it can seem so real at times in specific movies, and that's what gets us. That is how we get scared because at times it can look so real. And I'm yapping and saying the same thing a lot. I'm sorry. I am not reading off a script. This is literally just me talking into my phone. All right, now it is the end of the video, and I only talked about 3, which I hope y'all can forgive me for. Not a long video like other people, but if you stayed all the way through or even clicked on this, all right, I want to thank you for even giving me your time because I am a very small content creator, very first video, and if you enjoyed it, let me know. And yeah, I'm not reading off a script or anything. This is quite literally just me talking about a topic that I found interesting, and I like yapping to people, so probably more videos like this gonna come out. I really want to do iceberg videos, and let me know if you would like to see me do that and which type of iceberg videos. There's there's a iceberg for everything. There is a Roblox iceberg. There is basically anything you can think of. Horror movies, just anything you can think of has an iceberg. And once again, I want to thank you for clicking on this video and watching it all the way through if you did, and for all the support. And just let me know what type of icebergs or horror content you would like me to research and talk about. But have a nice day, and always remember to love yourself.